Please welcome Geoffroy Van Ramdonk, Chief Executive Officer, Neiman Marcus Group, with James Fallon, Editorial Director, WWD.
Welcome from Dallas. Thank you for joining us, Geoffroy. And yes, we're back in real life. So as you recall, 4 years ago, you spoke at this summit, and you talked about the power of love and leading with love. So let's go back a little bit in time, and then we'll go forward. Where has that taken you in the journey with Neiman's?
Well, it's taken us where we are today, which was, it anchors, it unites all of us at Neiman Marcus Group around the notion of love. And at the time I talked about, we live in this world of transactions. We live in this world where you click like, and that is not what luxury is about. And so luxury is an emotion. We chose love as the one that unites us. And then we really embedded it in our culture, NMG way. And the culture for us is really what fuels our success. We established that we wanted to be a company where everyone belongs, where everyone is expected to show up as their true self, which is important for an organization that is majority woman, that is a woman co-founded company and led by a member of the LGBTQ community. And what we've seen is when you expect that from people, and Carly talked about diversity of thoughts, diversity of background, you're much more prepared to set out and revolutionize luxury experiences, which is what we are setting out to do. So that's one element we've done. And then the other element we've done among many was our NMG wow, NMG ways of working, which is really recognizing that people have different lives. And at the end of the day, what we want from them is to perform and deliver impact. But we don't expect them to live in Dallas, to live in New York, to be in the office every day. We expect them to deliver impact. And as a result, we were named members of the Forbes 400 Best Places to Work for Women, number 5 within the retail industry, and a best place to work for LGBTQ by the Diversity National Council. And to me, being an employer of choice is the best reassurance I have that we will do well next year and the years to come, because at the end of the day, we're in the business of having people who bring love to our customers, or brand partners, or associates in our communities.
And last year, when we spoke, you made quite a few leadership changes and also quite a lot of investments in technology. So leadership-wise, again, how has that impacted the business, and where are we with the technology upgrades and the DC investments and so forth?
So we have a great team, many of whom have been with me for the last 4+ years, and then we constantly look to make additions, people who bring best practices from other companies and help us continuously practice our growth mindset. We recently added a new position, a brand president for the Neiman Marcus brand, overseeing the brand, and that's Ryan Ross, who comes from a world of experience in digital, in integrated retail. He was most recently the president of Williams-Sonoma. And I think what we're seeing is that that team is gelling. It's gelling because we all have the same purpose of leading with love. It's gelling because we all have different backgrounds. And that's not always easy, I have to say, but it's very rich. It's allowed us to make a lot of investment in technology and make investment where we believe there's value. In my mind, technology and data allow us to scale that love. And by that, I mean reach more customers and personalize the experience. And so we've made investment in our clienteling tool, Connect, which allows the sales associate to connect with their customers 24/7. And they send 1.5 million emails, notes a month. We've made a partnership with Farfetch, and the partnership is to scale Bergdorf.com globally. It will be operated by the Bergdorf team, but it will be on the white label technology of Farfetch. And then we bought a company called Stylize that does machine learning and allows us to personalize styles based on what you have in your closet or what people who look like you are buying. And then we are in the process of rolling out some of those investments. So we just redid our app, the NM app, and the NM app is literally launching this month. Everyone will convert to the app next month. And the app is a commerce app, but it's much more than a commerce app. It has recommendations based on what you have in your closet. It has connectivity with the store where you can book appointments such as alterations, restaurant, and it has a connection with your sales associate, or it recommends who in the store could be there to help you. And then the last investment we're making is in supply chain. We're rolling out new warehouse system in 2 new warehouses, and that allows us to scale the inventory better and to have it in the place where the customer is most likely to want it.
You mentioned brand, so let's look at it in 2 ways. First of all, the growth of the Neiman Marcus brand and the projection of the Neiman Marcus brand. You are a house of brands, so how do you protect the Neiman Marcus brands, but also don't confuse it with the brands you're selling? So what's the value of growing the Neiman Marcus brands within that context?
So we have 2 brands within the group, right. Neiman Marcus and Bergdorf. I think both brands speak to the heart of the customer and express themselves. Bergdorf is about unabashed luxury, and I think there's a love that is quite unique, and it's a love rooted in New York, rooted in the building, but that we think we can scale digitally. The Neiman Marcus brand is about this special, accessible, I mean human luxury, because it all comes through the ability to meet with one of our 3,500 sales associates. We're launching the Christmas book this week in LA, so I'm here, the team is in LA. And we feel that we can express our brand, but also at the same time respect, enhance the brands of others. And one thing that we've really started to do this year is what we call retailtainment. And it's about the fact that, yes, we provide the opportunity for our customers to access inventory from the various brand partners we have in our stores and digitally. But at the end of the day, the customers expect more from us. They expect that we're going to connect them to a human relationship, and that when they come to the store, there's something vibrant. And so retailtainment is about creating exclusive, immersive, multisensory experiences with brands where we have something that is exclusive. It's usually an exclusive collection of products. It can be a pop-up store. It can be Prada brought 2 tons of sands in our stores and created a beach. So it can be something quite massive in 3,000 square feet. But it's all about really delighting the customer. And the brands really see that they have access through us to a customer that may not know them or may not know the full breadth of what they can do in a magical way.
Because, of course, a lot of your strategy is very much those brand activations and strengthening the links you have with either exclusive brands or strong brands for you. So I think you just did something with Brunello Cucinelli in Texas on a ranch, which was an intriguing sight of the Cucinellis riding a horse. But how important are those top tier brands for you? And then also how important is that, what customer does that bring in to you?
So we are a relationship business, and the relationship is with the customers, it's with the brands. The relationship with the customers is where it starts. 2% of our customers generate 40% of our revenues. They spend with us more than $25,000 a year. They buy from us every other week, and they go online twice a week. And we retain 90% of those year on year. And so that is the relationship we cherish. Now, we have a great relationship with the brand partners, and I see many of you in the room. The great relationship is mutually beneficial. We provide access to those customers who are in a relationship with us, to those brands through our digital properties, but also through the stores that we have. And then we provide the ability for the brand to express themselves. And the brands that are really important for us are the true luxury brands, because we really focus on that true luxury customer. So the top 20 brands for us is almost 50% of our sales, and it's a really big part of our revenue. They grew 70% compared to pre-COVID last year, and our year just ended in July. So that is a very big part of our business. But then we also have the emerging brands, because our customers are looking for the brands that are the most established, that have the highest integrity, that have been around for a long time, and then they're looking for something special about them. But they're also looking for something they don't know of, something that is emerging, something that is fashion. And that's where our merchants come into play and really curate the new brands. The expansion of distribution is very important. So last year, we expanded the top luxury brands by 600 points of distribution in our 37 stores. And that is really adding shoes here, adding handbags there from the best and most known luxury brands. And then we added 200 brands that are emerging brands. And I think that's a very important part of our role in the industry, is to give a chance to great creative people, and I will call Carly, because there's great people who should have a chance to have access to that customer base.
Right. The 2%, I mean, obviously, part of your strategy, unabashedly, is you're an omni-channel retailer, as much as that word is overused. So brick and mortar is very important, as is digital. Does the 2%, do they prefer the stores? Do they prefer digital? Do they across the board? And how do you link the two to service that customer?
So the 2% is clearly liking both.
Right.
So what we see is a customer who engages with us and shops with us only in one channel is worth 1x. When they shop across our channels, which are the stores, the online, but also the remote selling that our sales associate does, these are our 3 channels, they're worth 5x. And then when they are in a relationship with a sales associate, they spend 12 times more. And so the path to really being in a relationship with us is this integrated retail when we are available to the customer at any time. What we've seen is that during COVID, all our customers, if there was ever a barrier to buy online, that barrier is broken. Right. They've practiced it, they go more online, they engage with our sales associate remotely. That's now part of their normal life and engagement with us. But what we've also seen is that the store is more important than ever. 80% of our stores have performed at their highest watermark. And some markets, some distribution have changed. So it really shows that customers do like to go in the store. And for us, what's important as we revolutionize luxury experiences is really to make this frictionless. It's to give you the chance to be digital with us because I can reach you 24/7, but always give you a chance to come to a physical experience where a human can serve you, which is why the app that we're releasing now is a lot about connecting you to a human, connecting you to the store, to the service we can provide in store, because we believe that post-COVID, the notion of reconnecting the same way we connect today in person is so important.
The multi-billion-dollar question, do you see any sign that that luxury consumer is slowing spending?
So I can't speak for the whole industry, but I can speak for what we're seeing. So we finished our year at the end of July. We were up 33% in revenue compared to pre-COVID on a GMV base of $5 billion and generating $495 million of profit. We started the year August 1st, and what we're seeing right now is mid to high single-digit growth to the prior year. Right. So it's growth on growth. Right. And I think that we're going into the holiday cautiously optimistic because that customer base we described, we believe that they're going back to social life, they're going back to travel, and they're going to spend more, and they feel much more confident with their health and the post-pandemic era. We're also seeing that there's a younger customer who came into luxury and are shopping with us. We see a big influx of men, and that is a new customer. And so overall, I'm very confident because we have more customers, and the customers we see really want newness, they want to engage in luxury. We are seeing a little bit of a normalization and deceleration with the new customer and the customer who's not coming more than once. Right. And I think that was a moment in time where some customers had more disposable income and diverted it. But the sign that I really look at is the customers who came last year, how many of those came back 2 or 3 times? And that's what's fueling our growth right now. It's the migration of those customers and then the loyal going back to their normal life.
How do you migrate that customer from the 1 time to the 5 time to the hopefully the 12 time? Everybody goes up to that level. How do you migrate them along the path?
It's really, for us, it's providing this ecosystem where we are available 24/7 and ultimately doing everything we can to make the perfect match where you meet a sales associate who's listening to you. And I think we all need guidance in fashion. And some of us need guidance to know, does it fit? Does it look good? Others need guidance to say, can I pull this off? And this is where I am. I'm not practicing this today, but in the fitting room, the sales associate will say, push yourself, you can do this. Right. And so the goal for us is to always connect to a human being. It's also to work on the curation. We believe that in a world where product is available in different places, and there's a lot of product out there, the customer who's looking for an outfit, the customer who's really participating in luxury needs curation. And we believe in the curation. We believe that our merchants have so much confidence that they buy the product. They don't buy the whole line. They don't get access to the whole line, but they buy what they think is right. And all those elements combined with the excitement of going to stores and having experience slowly migrates you. But it is a lot about triggering the notion of something new that is right for you.
Right.
And technology helps there too, because technology allows us to target better.
Throughout this, you've mentioned two key words, sales associates and merchants.
Yeah.
Obviously, given the labor situation, companies are having trouble hiring people, et cetera. How have you overcome that? And then more importantly, how do you then train those sales associates? And how do you find the merchants, without giving away too many secrets, to do that curation?
Well, the first, it is true that it's been challenging to find people.
Right.
Now, and it's been more challenging to find people than to retain people. I think the industry is one place where we find people and some of our people go and fuel the industry, but we've looked outside of the industry as well. The sales associate, it's a lot about grooming the one we have. And so we have 3,500 sales associates. 800 of those had a book of $1 million pre-COVID. Today, it's 1,000. So we've been able to migrate those. Many of those were internal, and what we did is we allowed them to use digital tools to grow their business, but some of them came from different types of industries, stylists, people who were in real estate, people who knew what a relationship was. And in the merchants, we have a program every year, or EDP, and we always bring a new class and we groom them. And I think that buying is an art, but it's also a science. And a big part of it is how do you learn from the best people? And so we put a lot of effort in mentorship there.
And how do the merchants then tend to stay?
Well, we've seen that retention compared to pre-COVID for us is up 20%.
Oh, right.
And our employee NPS is up 34 points.
Right.
And I think it's all the effort we've done to find people, to enable them to be their best, and then ultimately people are measured on their impact. And I think that entrepreneurship, because at the end of the day, you look at our sales associate, they run a mini company, and it is, I always say the business is our sales associate, we are there at the service of our sales associate. The merchants find that there is no better jobs than going around and looking at 3,500 brands and figuring out what's right for that beloved customer. And so we've not faced retention problem. It's been difficult to actually find the right people who can really appreciate the strength of a relationship and have this magic of what merchants have.
Interesting. Well, we received the not so subtle hint of wrap it up. I guess we have time for questions, if there are questions from the audience. Otherwise, I have more. But I can't see anything. There's one way in the back, waving his arm.
Hi, Jeff.
Hi, David.
Hello, David. Yes.
Hi, Jim. So there's been a lot of talk about technology and the new app and your investments in some of those areas. What's going on with the brick and mortar side, particularly like are you investing in Bergdorf's to upgrade and some of the other Neiman Marcus stores?
Great question, David, because I think the eye often goes away from the store. And as I mentioned, stores are vibrant. When we look at our performance, it's pretty equal between stores and online. We've seen that is where people congregate. And so the expectation, though, from the consumer is always that the experience needs to be better. So we're investing tremendously. We're investing more than $200 million in strategic investments on top and beyond all the maintenance in our stores. And those investments go both into Bergdorf and Neiman Marcus. We did a lot of things at Bergdorf during the pandemic of reshuffling and adding brands and giving more space to the brands that are really vibrant today. And so there's a lot of changes there that have happened. We are redoing our whole private client services and many more things that I'm not entitled to say yet. But a lot of investment to make sure that the customer, as they come back to New York, and especially the tourism that is still coming back, that they find something that is magical and that the brands feel they're represented at the level that best represent them. And it's the same at Neiman Marcus. We will, over the next 2.5 years, touch half of our top 10 stores and a third of all our 36 stores. And there, it's primarily making sure that there's more experiences, that there's place for pop-up activations, that there are more restaurants, more lounges, more experiential services like spas, and then it is reflowing the space. The men's business is much bigger, and so we need to make sure that there's more space to the men's business. We need to make sure that there's more space to some categories, and then as we add new brands, that requires also respacing everything. And so thank you for the question, because I do believe that in our case, the growth in that relationship has a key component in the store, and the store needs to be at the level that we are all delighting our customers.
And Neiman's e-commerce business.
So the question is around the relationship we have with Farfetch. Farfetch is a great company, and Farfetch operates a business called Farfetch.com, which is their marketplace. But then they have Farfetch Platform Solutions, which is a technology company that provides services to other retailers. And so we're going to migrate the BG.com platform, technology platform, think really the technology, onto their platform, which is a proven platform to operate globally. And then that allows basically us to, and this is happening as we speak, and it will be complete in the fall of next year. It then allows us to immediately scale the business globally, because their platform can take payment in different currencies. They can be easily translated in different languages. The experience, the product, the assortment, the imagery, all that will be managed by the Bergdorf team, but it'll be powered by what we think is the best e-commerce global platform. And it's a really interesting opportunity because for José and Farfetch, that platform exists. So for them, they don't incur massive cost. And for us, it's a variable expense, and we don't need to set up the full new platform by ourselves. And as they continue to evolve it, we'll be able to upgrade the experience for our customers in the years to come.
Is there much overseas business on BG.com now?
Right now, BG is not shipping abroad. Neiman Marcus is shipping abroad. We wanted to do this in the way where we really were confident that the experience would be commensurate with the Bergdorf experience, and we're very confident that we'll be able to do that.
Interesting. Any other questions? No, Evan.
Thank you. So I'm curious about this 2% of your customer base is 40% of the business. And if you could dig in a little bit there, and where's the growth? Is the idea to make that 2% 50% of the business, or to try to get, migrate more people over to big spending, or?
It's really both. It's growing with the whole set of customers by recruiting qualified customers who have a chance. So we're not in the business, I should preface that, we're not in the business of transactions, we're not in the business of market share. We're in the business of share of wallet of customers who really engage deeply into luxury. And so the growth comes from finding the customer who has a high customer lifetime potential, and then migrating to be repeat customers, and then ultimately getting those customers to have the same behaviors as that 2% customer. And so my goal would be that the 2% of customers we have today, they continue to spend more and more every year. And we're seeing today that we have more of those customers compared to last year in the first 3 months of the year, and they spend more than they used to. But then the real growth is getting more customers to have those type of behaviors. And we are very excited that our customers, the one we're recruiting, is younger, and that we now have more diversity, and the men customer is really there's so much runway there in the future.
Thank you. Going back to the 2% of top customers,
what is the role of your loyalty programs to retain them? Is that the main reason, or the main reason that you think they will stay? Or how do you think, are you going to keep increasing these loyalty programs to make it more exclusive, or going the Chanel road, which is something really private and is not even publicized? Or how do you feel about these loyalty programs in general?
So the loyalty, we were among the first one to have a loyalty program that was offered in the 80s. And I think loyalty program is one thing, and we are in the process of rethinking our loyalty program. But I think it goes way beyond what we call loyalty program, and it goes into the things that you're mentioning. What is an early access? What is private elements where customers can come and have a different experience? What are we doing that is unique, personalized for our customers? And where we're going is, for the customer we know, and where the human can know all about them, we're doing much more for those. And we let our sales associate to do a lot of that. They have a clienteling tool that allows them to really personalize the outreach and personalize what they do for those. And then we do a lot of private events. We have private suites in most of our stores where customers can have a really human, personalized experience. But then there's the customers, and I would say that equates to your happy few friends. And then you have your acquaintances, and there we leverage a lot of the technology to make sure that customers feel they have a personalized experience. So if you download the app on NM, the NM app, and you register, you'll see all your purchases as a customer. You'll see what you have in your closet, and through the acquisition of Stylize, we're able to recommend things that are right for you that would go with what you have in your closet, or looks that other people who have similar tastes as yours have purchased. And I think that's personalization can be human, but it can also really be powered by data and technology, and that allows us to make more people feel like we really know them. And obviously, the more you engage with us, and that's why we also look at a lot of digital engagement, the more you leave fingerprints behind you, and every fingerprint is a data point that we can use and mine to better give you an experience.
When you talk about the 200 brands that you've added, I couldn't remember whether it was last year or over a longer period of time. What are the either hard or soft data points that your team are looking at when they think about which are the right brands to be bringing on as partners, and how do you think about sort of pre-sensing what is going to really be a fit for your high-spending customers and your customer acquisition?
So, great question. We brought 200 brands over the last 12 months. The teams are empowered to really go with what they believe is best, and that has a big part of intuition. We've actually folded our fashion office to be within the merchant group so that the person who's recognizing the trend is also the person who's got the purse and can make real investment behind, so that her conviction of saying this brand, this trend is the right one, then she can actually immediately go and buy. So that was one element where we connected the group of people who are really dedicated to mine those brands to be embedded in the team that actually spends the money. And then the other thing we did is we used to hold everyone accountable to a certain level of profitability. Those brands, it's about taking a chance on a brand that has enough proof point that we are convinced, but doesn't have yet the history, because usually they're exclusive to us or they're just emerging. And it's giving the chance to the team to say, we're not holding yourself and you as a merchant to the same margin level. We want you to take a chance and then develop and grow those brands. A lot of the data we have is what do customers want? And we do mapping by category, by silhouette, by price point of what's missing. So there's a lot of data that the merchants get. But at the end of the day, you look at a brand, your intuition tells you this is the next big thing. And then we have a history of doing this. Tom Ford started with us. There's a lot of other brands like Louboutin, Brunello Cucinelli, where we really played a key role early on in their expansion in the US or global expansion. And today, they are some of our top brands, and we are their global partner and #1 partner of choice.
Cool. Well, that's all the time. Geoffroy, always fascinating. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care.